us were obliged to help the footman carry the trunk down the stairs, then out to the waiting carriage. Valentine wiped at his brow with his forearm and loosened his cravat once it was secured in place. It was a fine Kentish August day, which was to say a very warm one. "Remind me to absent myself the next time you move," Valentine said. "He doesn't mean that." Rebecca descended the steps energetically, despite her growing stomach. Behind her, Duke and Diana held the hand of their toddling daughter. Charlotte struggled against their protective hold, undeterred by the dangers posed by the uneven stone steps before her. "Oh, but I do mean it," Valentine said, receiving his wife in his arms. "Is that everything?" Duke asked me. I looked at the other list I had made, detailing the relatively short catalogue of things I needed to take with me. "Yes," I said firmly. My lists might seem unnecessary to some, but they made me confident I was not forgetting anything, and I was in dire need of confidence just now. Charlotte attempted to break free from her parents once the steps had been navigated. Her apparent destination was the horses, one of which was pawing at the gravel. Diana let out a sound of frustration as she tried to wrangle her daughter. "Oh, she is determined to be the death of both herself and me." Duke gathered Charlotte into his arms. "It is anyone's guess where she inherited such a characteristic." Diana shot her husband a look. "I have always been the picture of well-considered decisions, as my brothers can attest to." She looked at Valentine, who took the opportunity to inspect his nails rather than confirm. Her gaze flicked to me. "I should be going," I said, avoiding her just as Valentine had done. "Bettencourt Court is a matter of 22 miles, and at a rate of 6 miles per hour that puts me there—" I glanced at my pocket watch. "Just shy of 4 o'clock. "Well," Diana said in a voice saturated with offence, "so much for loyalty to family." She took Charlotte from Duke's arms. "Come, love. It seems we are unappreciated in present company." "Not at all." Valentine came over and put out his arms for Charlotte. She readily leaned toward him, leaving her mother without a second thought. "I very much appreciate Charlotte." "Traitor," Diana hissed at her daughter, though the kiss she planted on her capped head belied the insult. "Well, Phineas, I suppose this is goodbye for now. We shall visit one of these Sundays to hear one of your sermons, so it shan't be too long before we see you again." "Speak for yourself," Valentine said, tickling Charlotte mercilessly. "We shall certainly be attending one of your sermons," Rebecca said, "though he will never admit it. Valentine missed you terribly while you were at Cambridge." Valentine ignored this comment, busy as he was turning Charlotte upside down, but I happened to believe it. Thanks to Diana, I knew it was Valentine who insisted on coming to visit in order to see me before I left for my new position. I was not one for sentimentality myself, so it didn't bother me. He would refuse to acknowledge such a thing. "Oh," Rebecca said suddenly, "I had nearly forgotten. We have a parting gift. One moment." She went up the stairs and disappeared into the house, while my family took turns embracing me. For the most part, I looked with anticipation on this new venture in life. I was confident in my abilities and qualifications, but every now and then, nerves would creep in. It was no small thing to live in the house of an earl, or to teach a future earl. My father was a respected admiral, but I was only a third son. Rebecca returned moments later, a set of books in hand and a servant following behind carrying even more. "Good heavens, Becca," Valentine said, "the last thing in the world Phineas needs is more books." "You only say that because you don't wish to give them up." She turned to me. "Valentine and I enjoyed these, and we thought you would as well." "Correction," said Valentine, returning Charlotte to Diana. "Rebecca enjoyed them. I was subjected to her reading them aloud each night, the sound of which put me to sleep with astounding reliability." Rebecca cocked an eyebrow and shook her head subtly. "In any case," Valentine continued, "you will find plenty of examples for what not to do as a vicar within those pages." "Thank you," I said sincerely, curious what sort of books they might be to contain such information and eager to acquaint myself with them.